Okay, in a sentence, describe to me what a color is. Well, a color is the property possessed by an object of producing different sensations on the eye as a result. Nobody understands that definition. A color is a color? I don't know how to describe colors. It's like love. You can't describe love. It's abstract. It's in the inside. It's like But colors aren't abstract. You can see colors. You can touch colors. You can paint colors. What's your point, smartass? What are you trying to convey? The point I'm trying to make is that colors are weird. Okay, that's your point. For a second I thought you were gonna say something intelligent. My mistake, honestly. Listen. Fuck off. But I am trying to make a point here. You can only understand what a color is when you see one. Try describing what colors are to a person who's been blind since birth.
So being blind since birth, I've never seen color. I don't have any concept of what it is. I mean, I've never seen anything. Right? There's this whole part of vocabulary, of language, that doesn't mean anything to me. Over the years, just people have tried to explain color to me, and I just don't understand it. And people will try and explain a sense with another sense. It's like the way this smells, maybe that's what a particular color... What? So you're going to tell me you're going to explain what color looks like by my nose? That doesn't make any bloody sense at all.
You can't describe colors to a blind person like you can a chair. It's a wooden thing you sit on. You can only draw parallels between colors and the attributes of other things they already know about, like the smell thing that Tommy just said. And even that doesn't really work, does it? You can't even describe a single color, like the color red for example, to someone who can see in absolute terms. You can describe it only in relative terms. You can only give examples. Red, like blood, and rubies, and lipstick, and the faces of angry cartoons. We call this red because we were taught that this is red. If I was taught that this is purple, I would totally believe it. The names of colors are mere labels. They don't have any particular reason to be called what they're called. Which leads me to my crazy, amazy, little bit hazy conspiracy theory. Well, it's not really a conspiracy theory, but just stick with me, please. What if we all perceive colors differently? What if my red is your blue? What if your yellow is my green? There isn't anything tying colors and their names together other than what we see. So what if we all see different colors, but we just call those different colors the same name because we think that this thing we are seeing is the exact same as what other people are also seeing. Every other thing that you can see, you can also touch and confirm what it's actually physically like. But you can't touch a color and determine which one it actually is. I know it's a bit difficult to wrap your head around, but just please bear with me. I need you to think about this. Color is what our brain perceives of the light coming into our eyes. And it's not necessary that your brain will process the information in the same way that my brain does. So what if when you see the sky, you see this and I see this? You say, the sky is blue. And I say, yes, good observation, Einstein, the sky is blue because that's your blue and this is my blue. We have different blues. We have different representations of what the word blue means. Since you can't see through my eyes and I can't see through yours, there's no way of finding out the differences in what we see. I mean, there might be a complicated sciencey-wincy smarty way, but let's just stay in the zone that is understandable to us. If you feel like I'm really reaching for it with the red-blue thing, what if we see the same colors but different intensities of the color because of the difference in the number of color receptors we have in our brain? And if you still feel that I'm being really unrealistic, then what if you and I see completely different colors? Like you have this color scale and I have a completely different color scale which has colors that don't even exist in your view of the world. Learn to imagination, idiot. And for your satisfaction, I'm not the only one who thinks that this could be possible. Many scientists believe that this could be the case. Just Google this and you'll find articles upon articles asking the same question. So this is not really a conspiracy theory, but it gets people's attention, so I'm gonna call it a conspiracy theory. So moving away from shitty conspiracy theories, let's talk about something more concrete and based in reality. It is a fact that we humans can only see a limited range of colors out of the huge range that exists. A lot of other animals can see more colors than we can, and that is a fact and the truth. Unless you don't believe in science, then yes, the world is a flat disk supported by 4 elephants standing on top of a flying turtle. Humans have 3 types of color receptors in their brain, birds have 4. So they can see UV light and they can also see different shades of the same color that we can't distinguish between. The mantis shrimp has 16 different types of color receptors. So in a rainbow where you see 7 colors, the mantis shrimp just sees more colors than you. If you feel a little left out by this, you feel a little more useless than usual, then don't you worry, you little piece of worthlessness. In the future, it might be possible for humans to be given a 4th type of color receptor, like birds. If there actually is a possibility for that to happen, then maybe in the more future, we could just be injected with the 16 receptor cells of the mantis shrimp, and you can suddenly also see the 16 colors of a rainbow that the mantis shrimp sees. That would be one hell of a drug though. Inject yourself with mantis colors, then smoke some weed, then you will trip some major balls. The things you will be able to see, oh my, big bang, because God doesn't exist. Also, British English and American English have different spellings for the word color. Stop being morons and decide on one spelling. Is that too hard for you, you fucking spastic idiots? Anyway, here's a slideshow of colors with weird names.